You want to win a gold medal?
Sure.
You want to do it in Berlin? Well, I mean, unless you were planning on waiting.
You know, I heard they don't care much for color folk over there.
Well, they don't care for much here in Columbus either. Is that gonna be a problem?
No, sir.
So you get this phone call. We are interested in you playing Jesse Owens. And your response initially was what?
Was nothing. I mean, I was speechless. I was speechless from, pretty much the beginning. When I heard about his story and realized just how humongous this whole story was, not just in America, but in the world, to me, it was just like I was blown away to have the opportunity to step in his shoes and to feel that.
Okay. What type of research did you do for this role?
A lot. Obviously, there's only so many videos you can find
Right.
Of 1936, on YouTube. So for me, it was about using Jesse's daughters as a resource and having them there to tell me about the type of man their father was and the type of father he was, the type of husband he was. That compiled with everything I had learned about, him as a runner, that really helped me portray him.
On behalf of Mr. White and his organization and the Negro community across America, I hope you don't go.
Okay, so let's talk about the running part, because usually in sports movies, they don't get it right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where you're like, that's not how a guy runs. So did you have to have coaching on that front?
Yeah, of course. I was working on another film at the time, and basically every day I had off on that film, I'd go down to Georgia Tech in Atlanta and start training with the track and field coaches there. So for me, it was about a 2-month process before I actually started filming. And I grew up playing basketball, volleyball, but never track. So to me, it was a whole different beast. I had to learn how to not only run fast, but to run like Jesse ran,
right.
Because he was so specific. And like you said, you don't want to butcher any of that. There's too many people who pay attention to the small details. So for me, it was about making sure that I honed in on the details, from how he started his race to his stride to how his face looked while he ran. So those are the little things that I really had to make sure that I was getting right.
Were there days when you did shooting of running scenes where you're like, I can't do this? I mean, was it really hard to get that down just right? Because as you said, there's going to be people that are looking at this. This guy's playing Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
You can't screw this up.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, there were certainly days where, I felt drained, exhausted. I wasn't sure if I was getting it right, but I just stuck at it. For me, it was like I had to go through the process. If I was gonna be the fastest man alive, I had to do whatever I had to do to make sure that was coming, across clearly. Luckily, I had the benefit of great coaches. Coach Daniel in Montreal and Coach Nate Page over at Georgia Tech, to make sure that they were really paying attention to the way I was doing things. And I wanted to make sure that I had ran so many times like him that there was no other way I could run. So if you asked me to run right now, I'd probably run exactly like him.
Of his style. How was Coach Sudeikis?
He was great.
Yeah.
Jason and I, we got along pretty well, pretty much off the bat. He's a big basketball guy, and I'm a big basketball guy, so we clicked pretty early.
Did he call you Steph? I mean, we were all talking about that coming in. It's like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
We go with Steph here.
Yeah, he had a couple of Steph moments.
Steph.
For sure.
Your first foray into sports?
I played an athlete a couple of times before I did a game. Won the Game Stands Tall a couple years ago, which is a great football, story of the De La Salle team.
Yep.
Back in the early 2000s. And then I've had an opportunity to play hockey players, but this is different. This has been it's been really different. It's not just any athlete. This is a world champion, a world-class athlete, a guy who won 4 gold medals, broke so many records. So for me, this was a different challenge all in itself.
When you met the family, getting that part right, it couldn't have been just over lunch, tell me about Dad. It had to have been a lot of going into it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've spent so much time with his daughters, and they've been so lovely in helping me understand the man that Jesse was. There was so much I could find about him as a runner and all that stuff, but, who was I gonna find a personal sort of opinion on him and what that was like. So for me, having his daughters there to tell me about the man he was, the father he was, the husband he was, that was invaluable to me. No one else, I couldn't think of a better people to talk to get that sort of information from. So we spent a lot of time together. We hung out not only during the filming process, where they were able to tell me many stories about their father, but even after we finished filming, we hung out in Beijing this summer, and we've just gotten really, really close.